Europe. 17th century. King Philip II was in power and ruling the Spain Catholic monarchy. At that time one of the nation with most powerful army and navy. Supported by the Pope, in order to restore the Catholic Church influence in Great Britain, Spain was about to invade England. With his famous armada who just recently beat the Turkish navy at the Battle of Lepanto, King Philip without hesitation declared war against England in year 1588. To counteract this threat, Queen Elizabeth I of England then made a policy which enlisted individuals to sail in a privately owned armed ship in order to attack, rob and capture enemy vessels, in this case Spain. They were known as privateers. A group of nation-sponsored and officially licensed pirates that operating on behalf and shared their booty with their government. It was a new career opportunity which attracted many English sailors, and one of them was John Ward. Born in a port city of Faversham, southeast of England in year 1553, John or Jack Ward, who used to be a humble fisherman then turned a privateer since 1588. Even it was a tough and risky job, but they earned way a lot more by becoming a privateer than their earlier profession. It was the reason why privateers were discontented when the new King James I decided to end the war with Spain in 1603. And so the privateers then losing their privilege and protection they used to receive from the government. Many of them decided to keep on plundering, causing their license revoked and considered criminals. Jack Ward, who was stationed aboard the Royal Navy's ship of Lion's Whelp since 1604, then decided to take the same fate. He and 25 other sailors deserted and stole a 25 tons vessel from Portsmouth Harbour in England. Ward then elected by his band as their captain. Initially operated around English Channel, he managed to capture several vessels belonging to Rome, France and the Dutch, before moving to Mediterranean to find a safe port for his base of operation. In year 1606, Ward made a deal with Usman Bey, the Ottoman military commander in Tunis. His ships were allowed to dock and use Tunis as their base of operation. With Usman Bey received a share of 10% of their total loot. So then Kapten Jack Ward and his crew continued their actions as corsairs and soon became the most famous and feared pirates in the Mediterranean Sea. His fame and success attracted many sailors from Europe, Turkey, and local to join as his crew. At his peak, Jack Ward's fleet consisted of 15 ships and 1,500 men. Jack Ward's most famous action was when he captured 1,500 tons Venezian cargo ship, Riniera Sotarina in April 26, 1607. The plundering of the ship with cargo worth of £2 million had made the Venezian government furious and demanded England to also take responsibility for his action as Jack Ward was still English citizen. Jack Ward then became the most wanted fugitive in England and Europe. A bit overjoyed with this victory, Kapten Jack Ward then modified the ship to accommodate more guns, but as consequences, its hull structurally weakened. It broke up in a storm and sunk in her maiden voyage. 350 pirates lost their life and Kapten Jack, who had managed to escape, found himself become an object of hatred in Tunis from all those people who had lost friends and relatives in the accident. The situation had made Jack Ward felt it was time to go home. He asked for a royal pardon from King James I, but it was denied by the English government. So he reluctantly returned to Tunis. Jack Ward realized that he would never again return to England. He understood that he was condemned to spend the rest of his life in Tunis. In September 1610, triggered by his disillusion to the never-ending conflict between Catholic and Protestants, as well as the behavior of the English crown and papal authorities, Jack Ward and all his crew decided to convert to Islam. He declared his loyalty to the Ottoman. And now a Muslim, he changed his name into Yusuf Rais. Strangely, after Kapten Jack Ward became Captain Yusuf, his attitude and lifestyle totally changed as well. He started to dress like the locals, which includes turban around his head and Turkish-style coat. He married a Sicilian woman, also a converted, but didn't forget his English wife and continued to send her money. Although he was previously reported as a heavy drinker, Kapten Yusuf totally gave up drinking alcohol and prayed just like any other devout Muslim. But his fond of birds never changed. A hobby that earned him a nickname of Jack Birdy. The locals called him Jack Ashfor, in Arabic, which means a sparrow in English. Is that name sounds familiar to you? Although it's hard to say, but probably the fictional character of Kapten Jack Sparrow in the Hollywood movie, The Pirates of Carribean, inspired by Kapten Jack Birdy. It was disturbing time in Europe, especially in Spain, where Muslims after being forcefully converted into Christianity, but then after still persecuted, and finally expelled from their own land. Kapten Yusuf then emerged as the savior of these hapless people. He rescued thousands of Morisco refugees and brought them with his ships to Tunis. For his actions, he regained the respect of not only the people he rescued, also of the Ottoman ruler and other Muslims living around northern Africa. As his popularity increased in Islamic world, many stories in Tunis and northern Africa portrayed Jack Ward or Yusuf Rais as a legendary hero. In Christian European world, however, he was portrayed in various books and operas as an outcast who betrayed his country and a devil incarnate. Even though he was at the peak of his career, Kapten Yusuf decided to retire in 1612 and chose to live comfortably at his grand palace in Tunis. Lived a normal life, far from his old image as the most feared and king of pirates of Mediterranean Sea. Spent most of his time teaching navigations to young sailors, had a poultry farm, quit drinking alcohol and regularly prayed at the mosque, as told by William Lithgow, an adventurer and writer from Scotland who met Jack Ward twice in Tunis. The latest was in 1615, which he noted a dramatic change of his behavior in those two meetings. Yusuf Rais, also known as John Ward, or Jack Birdy, passed away in Tunis in year 1622. Left us a remarkable story of his conquest in Mediterranean Sea. But in the end of his journey, he found peace in Islam. Hopefully this short story can bring back the memory of a legendary man. Fictionalized by Hollywood, demonized in Christendom and largely forgotten in Islamic world.